from the Varsity Baseball Field on the campus of Darien High School. It's a midweek clash in the FCIAC as the Ridgefield Tigers come to town to take on the Darien Blue Wave. Hi, everybody, joined alongside Tim Bellingham. I'm Braden Shank. Tim, a crucial game for Darien today, sitting 3 games out of the FCIAC playoffs. They need a win today to keep their hopes alive against a tough Ridgefield team.
Yeah, they also need to get that 8th win, too, to get them into the state tournament as well. So let's see if they can close out strong here. You got your second-to-last home game, so let's see what the Wave can bring today.
And Ridgefield will be first up. There's the starting lineup for head coach Mike Scarlett. Keller bats first. Gutfeld's. And you see the rest. Keating, the starting pitcher, batting 5. Carter. And the rest of the Tigers order this afternoon. And Tim, what do you see in this Ridgefield lineup?
It seems like they're a team that could put the bat on ball. They're going to hit the ball. And Darien's going to have to be forced to field and see how the ball plays off the turf.
And for Darien, they will be throwing their junior this afternoon, Owen Tyler, getting his first career start, 5 2/3 innings pitched this season, the 4.94 ERA. 0-1 this season. However, Owen's a solid pitcher, and I don't think this first start's going to fatigue him at all.
We'll see how it goes. He's going to come out here. He's going to have to eat up some innings, throw some outs, and we'll see what happens. But getting ahead is going to be a key.
Again, Tyler has pitched in 4 games this year for Darien, all in relief. And he's going to be looking for success in this first start for him. Beautiful day for some baseball here in Darien, Connecticut. I want to say high 70s temperatures, not a cloud in the sky. Much better than some of the temperatures we've seen in recent days here in southwestern Connecticut. Nonetheless, the first Ridgefield batter, Justin Keller, will be digging in. A leadoff batter, and he wears number 1. And for good reason. A little bit of a late start here. Tyler with the first pitch, and it's fouled off at 4:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Tyler quickly moves ahead 0-1. Keller, a solid hitter for this Ridgefield team, a .327 batting average entering play. Although the overall athleticism of this kid is incredible. He was the starting quarterback for the Ridgefield Tigers this fall. He played point guard for the Ridgefield basketball team, and now he takes his talent to this Ridgefield Tigers baseball team as the leadoff hitter. How crucial is that, Tim?
That's just something else. 3-sport athlete. That this kid's freaking nature, possibly. Let's see how he does today out on the baseball field. 1-1.
Ball just low. More importantly, how important are these first hitters for Tyler on the mound?
Well, like I said, you got to get ahead. He's setting the whole tone right now. Setting the whole tone. If he can get ahead here on the hitters, it'll be a good day for him.
2 balls, 1 strike. Tyler with the deal. That one's hit on a rope. Foul ball, says our home plate umpire. So Darien will breathe the sigh of relief and now move the count to 2-2.
And that was a good adjustment there by Keller. First pitch he swung at, fouled way off, fouled way behind. That one just a little bit early. So he's starting to jump on Tyler a little bit.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The right-hander gets his sign from our catcher, Jack Nee. And the delivery. Strike 3. A great way for Tyler to open up the ball game, setting down the senior captain. And there's 1 gone on the top of the first.
He's just challenging him there through the fastball up. He said, here it is, come and hit it. And he swung right through it. That fastball up is a pitcher's best friend at times. It's a good show pitch. It's going to get hitters to either fly out, foul it off, or swing and a miss, just like that one.
Miles Githfeldt will come in, the senior. He'll be off to Canterbury next year to play a PG year for the Warriors. Ball 1 from Tyler. And talk about a 1-2 punch to start off. Keller and Githfeldt has been pretty solid for Ridgefield this year. Led them to a 9-7 record this year, 7-4 in conference play. So they're looking pretty for FCIAC conference standings. Darien on the other side of the ball, needing wins to get into the FCIAC tournament. 2-0 quickly. Githfeldt moves ahead.
Yeah, Ridgefield's always one of those tough teams. They're always going to put out a good program. They got a lot of good ball players. Got a lot of players that love playing for the school, love playing the game. They're always a tough school to play. You always respect them when you play them.
2-0. That one just over Brophy's head. Rounding and heading for second is Githfeldt, and he will hold up. A good single for Miles Githfeldt, and Ridgefield's got their second runner on.
That's a good sign to look out for. You have the first hitter there in Keller, who just hit that ball a little foul, and then you got Githfeldt, who got that ball a little straight there right inside the line. So you can tell Ridgefield's coming out early. They're hunting the fastball. One Tyler throws there isn't too significantly hard. It's got some decent speed to it, but it's not going to blow by you. So they're going to be hunting that fastball, and the Wave here, you got to make sure you mix up your pitches here if you're Tyler.
The sophomore Peter Card Lotus will check in. Three-hole hitter. Tyler checks back on the runner at first. He gets back safely. And it all starts with the youth programs, and the Ridgefield Little League teams are definitely feeding this Tigers team well over the recent years. A lot of district championships, some Babe Ruth championships as well. Ground ball, Yusko, over to Zawacki, over to first, and not in time. So Carlutis will beat it out all over the fielder's choice. 6-4 does still get the second out, and there's two away for the cleanup hitter, Felix Masonette. Good turn for Zach Yusko at shortstop to Dom Zawacki. Although not in time for the relay at first, and Felix Masonette steps in, a senior catcher for the Tigers. Tyler back to first. And do you think that's paranoia of the pitcher throwing over to first base twice in the first inning?
Well, he did it twice before he threw a pitch to either batter as well. So he's definitely paying attention there. He got his ground ball to get the double play, just wasn't turned. So technically an extra base runner that he inherited there. He's definitely going to pay attention.
Taking off and going for second is Carlutis, and he will be in safely with the stolen base.
Especially now since there's no throw there, they're 1-for-1 on stolen bases. They're going to be testing the wave the whole day.
A Ridgefield team that is very aggressive on the base paths, entering play today, 36 stolen bases. Carlutis, that is his 7th of the season. Second most on this Tigers team behind Keller. So leadoff guys have some speed. And a nasty curveball gets Masonette chasing.
Quite a bit of stolen bases there. Got to be mindful if you're Darien.
Very different to the game we saw against Greenwich, in which the Cardinals only had 5 stolen bases as a team all season, so Darien didn't have to worry about that and some of the other opponents they faced in recent games. So a very different story for this Tigers squad. Another one in the dirt. Moves it to 1-2.
Interested to see if he throws it there again or he elevates him to change his eye level.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Tyler gets the sign, comes set at the belts, and comes home. Ball just outside, knee over to third. That's a stolen base. Carlutis with 2 to his name.
It's tough there. Knee just screwed up a little bit of the transition there. Double pump. Guy just gets in safe at third base.
Especially a close pitch like that, you have to first work on trying to frame it and get the strike called. And once you hear the ball, you have to throw down. 2-2 the count. Foul ball. And Masonette stays alive. Masonette, one of the 3 sophomores on this Tigers team. Actually, my bad, he's a senior.
I was going to say, he looked a bit young or a bit old for a sophomore.
The on-deck batter, Keating, is a sophomore. That's what I meant. Fouling it back is Masonette. Senior catcher batting .286 this year for the Tigers.
Does not get cheated on those swings. There's some big, hardy swings there. Got to avoid the barrel if you're Tyler here.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Tyler with the deal. Ground ball, or fly ball rather, foul ball. That was kind of in our blind spot down the left field line. All I saw was that third base dugout. Nonetheless, the count remains 2-2. A good battle between Masonette and Tyler. And Felix will trot back in. And Tim, as a pitcher, how mental is this at bat right here, especially when it goes a long ways?
Well, you've thrown some curveballs low. He's swung and missed. He's ripping the fastballs right now. Interested to see if they go back to the off-speed here. You got a 2-2 count. You have a chance to waste a pitch here.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Tyler just getting a piece of it is Masonette. He stays alive.
They're trying to beat him low here. They don't want him to be able to elevate anything. They want him to hit it on the ground. If he hits it on the ground, they want to challenge him to see if he can hit it through the infield defense.
Masonette, a player with 10 hits on the season, 8 of which were singles for the Ridgefield senior, so he's only had 2 extra base hits this season. However, he does have some power in him.
That's why they're trying to live low in the zone so he can't elevate that ball.
2-2. Ball just low. He's looking for the call at the knees, didn't get it, and now the count runs full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Full count. Taking the lead on third is Carlutis. And another foul ball. This bat has lasted at least 12 pitches now, if not more.
This is tough, too, if you're the pitcher, Tyler. It's exactly what you do not want. Jack up that pitch count a little bit when you're just 1 strike away from getting your guys in the dugout and getting hitting.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Tyler with the delivery. Strike 3, the heater. Sits down Masonette. And it's 0-0 after the top of the first. Darien comes up to bat when we return on the DAF Media Network. Back on the DAF Media Network, taking a look at our Darien starting lineup. Some changes for head coach Mike Scott in the lineup today. Dom Zawacki still bats first, Alini at 2, Dolan at 3, Dull at 4, Karczewski bats 5, Sibilio 6, Brophy at 7, Jack Nee at 8, Zach Yusko, the 9-hole hitter, and Owen Tyler rounding out our starting pitcher. But Ryan Gorlamo, he's out with an injury. Darien had to fill that vacancy, and Leo Zawacki also out today, as well as Will Smosky. So some changes for Mike Scott, although he's adjusting. And they will go up against this Ridgefield hurler in the likes of Chris Keating. Keating, the number 32 for the Ridgefield Tigers. In his second start, I believe, this year. 13 innings pitched. And what do you like about Chris's game?
Let's see. So watch him warm up here. He's going to do typically the usual. His fastball's got a little bit of life to it. He's going to live low in the zone with the slider outside and see if he mixes it. Changeup in just below the hands of the righty batters, since this Darien lineup does have quite a bit of righty batters.
Catcher Masonette will trot out, as well as the rest of the infield for the Tigers.
I'm interested to see how Ridgefield does here playing on the Darien home field, turf field, because they do have a really nice dirt field all the way up there at Ridgefield, one of the nicest ones in the state. However, let's see how they field off of this turf field today. The hops are going to be a little bit smoother, but they are going to be faster. So interested to see how this Ridgefield defense will align for today.
Definitely one of the better venues in the FCIAC Governor Field all the way up at Ridgefield, a place the Tigers have seen much success, and that's where these teams met last year in their meeting, in which the Tigers took down the Wave 3-0. And it's the first time since 2019 or 2021 that this rivalry shifts to the DHS Stadium Fields.
It's always a nice venue going up there. It's always fun, always a privilege to play there. The field does play a little interesting, got some choppy balls there, but overall, really nice playing at Governor's Field.
Pitch just outside, moving it to 1-1. Keating, a tall right-handed pitcher for this Tigers team. The 3.77 ERA. Correction, it's his 5th start of the season, making his last against the Greenwich Cardinals back on May 3rd. Called strike 2, and he had 6 strikeouts in 4 innings against Greenwich. Did only give up 1 earned run in the 1-0 loss to the Cardinals. So he came out and pitched well for Ridgefield, looking for another good outing. Zawacki flies this one into the middle, calling it off to the second baseman, Bellotti. And counter makes the catch for the first down.
There's that fastball up I was talking about earlier. That's one of the outcomes there. You get a little lazy fly ball there, put away by the second baseman, I believe.
Dylan Alini steps in, the senior captain for Darien. 271 batting average entering play. Takes ball 1 out of play. And Alini's been in a little bit of a slump recently for Darien. Has yet to record a hit in the last 3 or 4 games, I believe. At least 0 for 9 in the losing streak for Darien. A streak in which Darien lost to Staples, they lost to Greenwich, they lost to Danbury, lost to St. Joseph, and lost to Buchanan on Monday.
It's a tough stretch, tough stretch. That Greenwich game was also a tough one, too. Greenwich just squeaked out the win.
Foul ball off Alini, especially look at those games and the fact that I guess you could say 2.5 of those were home games for Darien. They hosted Staples, they hosted Greenwich. They hosted Danbury in a game that they were technically the road team. They played it at the DHS Stadium Field, although the Hatters were the home team. Then they had to go to St. Joseph and to New Canaan, which is 2 places you don't want to be playing at. 1-2 the count. Alini with some authority. It gets through the left side. Dylan Alini will break his streak, and give the first runner for Darien in this bottom of the first.
That's huge right there for Darien, because this guy Alini, he's a guy you're going to need down the stretch for this Darien team. Starting first baseman, hitting third in the lineup, or second or third in the lineup, and he's a captain as well. So you got to get his bat going in order to go on a good stretch here to end the season off.
And now talk about a guy that stepped up big, Brenton Dolan, the senior. He hadn't started a game until senior day against Greenwich. Ryan Gerlamo goes down in right field. And who's head coach Mike Scott's new right fielder? How about Brenton Dolan, the senior? And he stepped up, batting .267 on the season, en route to a pretty good year for the Wave. And the biggest thing for Brenton is his ability to hit those long doubles and extra base hits, bring runners home. All just low, 2-0. Dolan ahead on Keating.
Coach Mike Scott gave him the start on senior day. Had the pleasure of calling that one here with Braden as well. And Dolan was putting the bat on the ball. He was looking good, driving in some RBIs, and it's a good move there for Coach Scott, Darien.
Takes a called strike there, and that's where the height comes back to bite Dolan, getting right. It's a strike called right at the numbers, 2-1.
As a pitcher, sometimes you see how much wiggle room you got with some of the taller guys, see how big the zone really is the umpire has.
2-1. Dolan takes it low, moves it to 3-1. Simeon Dahl stands on deck, the sole lefty in this Darien lineup today, the DH. 3 balls, 1 strike. Keating checks on the runner, Alini at first. Will take his time. Darien looking to rally in this first inning, something that they haven't done much this year. I believe the last 2 games we've shown on the DAF Media Network, they've gone down 1-0 after the top of the first. 3-1 the counts. Alini takes off for second. Dolan takes it up high. Masonette's throw. And that one's dropped as Alini steals second. The stolen base for Alini. However, the count does go full on Dolan. So the steal attempt works to perfection for head coach Mike Scott and the Wave. Three balls, 2 strikes. Keating comes home. And Dolan goes down swinging. 2 away. A big pitch from Chris Keating right there, and there's now 2 away for Simeon Dahl, the 4-hole hitter. Dahl had a nice 7-game hitting streak to open up the season this year. Been a little bit quieter in the middle part and later half of the season. First pitch from Keating, and Dahl fouls that one right back to our broadcast location.
He's getting on that ball early, looking to try to drive in that run. Give the Wave that lead going into the top of the second here. See if he can get that 2-out base hit.
Second pitch from Keating, ahead 0-1 in the account. Dahl takes it upstairs.
Right now, if you're Alini on second base there, no one's holding you on. You got some decent length yourself. You got to get a little bit bigger lead here to try to steal a run if Dahl gets a hit.
And Dahl grounds this one. That's up the middle. Alini, he'll get the rounds. Alini chugging for home to throw. Not in time. Dylan Alini scores on the Simeon Dahl RBI single, and it's 1-0 Wave.
It's like the opposite of an announcer's jinx right there. Almost predicted exactly what was going to happen. Nice single up the middle there by Dahl to drive in the first run of the game for the Blue Wave.
Well, I was thinking that. My first jinx on it was I was saying Dylan Alini was in this slump, hadn't got a hit in a couple games. He gets a single. I was saying Darien hasn't had a lead in the first inning in a while, and then Simeon Dahl gets a single, or a single that brings home the run. So maybe the announcer jinx is working the right way today, I guess you could say. And Karczewski, liner into center. Dropped by the center fielder, Keller. And Justin Keller not able to get a glove on that one, and it's now first and second with the E8.
And that's interesting because the sun is not a factor there on that ball hit directly at you. But they do say as an outfielder, the hardest ball to track and track down is a line drive hit directly at you. But sometimes it gets this kind of knuckle spin and will go kind of side to side like a knuckleball. But it looks like he's positioned his glove a little wrong right off the heel.
Luke Sibilio steps in. First pitch, he fouls it back. This Darien offense aggressive so far on the sophomore pitcher, Chris Keating. Keating, again, his 5th start. He started against Joel Barlow, Staples, Brian McMahon, as well as Greenwich and Bridgeport. I think I said that. If not, then that was his 5th start. Now in his 6th start this season.
Seems to be a go-to guy for Ridgefield.
And that one gets past the catcher, Masonette. Both runners will advance. Dahl moves up to third, Karczewski to second. And Darien now has 2 ducks on the pond with 2 away.
I think he just missed gloving that one as well. That's tough. Both runners advance. Now they're both in scoring position.
1-0 Darien leads. Sabilio fouls it back off the end of the bat. Ridgefield to Darien, one of the longer trips in the FCIAC. You're looking at probably 30 minutes without traffic. All back roads until you hit Route 7. So maybe some bus drag for the Ridgefield Tigers.
Be a crisp 45 minutes to an hour on Friday. These boys are lucky. This is a Wednesday.
1-2 the count. Ball. Zabilio was looking on it, now moves the count to 2-2 with 2 away.
Those long bus rides up to Ridgefield, good bonding moments for any of the other teams that are on their way up there. But it's worth the trip to get to that Governor's Park.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Grounder just foul. You had any fun stories on road trips back when you played?
Obviously, you got everyone, loud music, everyone's getting going. You always had the 2 knuckleheads putting their eye black on and this and that. But it was always a good team bonding experience. I was a big fan of everyone talking and building up the camaraderie. Everyone calmed down their tensions before the game.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Ball upstairs. You mentioned those 2 knuckleheads. Do you remember who they were?
I do remember who they were for my team specifically, but I'm not going to name names. Okay. But when I was a starting pitcher, I was a little bit more reserved on the bus. When I was sitting on the bench, I was getting rowdy.
3 balls, 2 strikes, full count, 2 away. Sabilio lines this one into center, left center. And it's caught by the left fielder, Githfelt, and that is the 3rd out, but not before Darien brings home 1 run off 2 hits. It's 1-0 Darien after 1. We'll be back. We're back on the DAF Media Network. The pitcher, Chris Keating, will be first up in this 2nd inning. Keating, after giving up 1 run in the bottom half of the 1st inning, will now try to help this Tigers offense get going. Again, the last game he pitched was against Greenwich in a game that the Tigers lost 1-0 to Greenwich. So the offense not able to produce for Keating on the mound and looking to do something about it. Liner over to Brophy at 3rd. Brophy on to 1st. Delaney has it for the 1st out.
It's a hot shot over there. That's why they call it the hot corner, especially on this turf field. That was a good fielding job there by Brophy, and a nice strong throw across the diamond for out number 1.
One of the changes for head coach Mike Scott today, some late scratches. Senior captain Will Smosky scratched at 3rd. Instead, the junior Sean Brophy gets the start, making a nice play there at 3rd base, as Nate Carter will step in, the senior first baseman.
Do we have a report as to why he was a late scratch?
You know, I didn't ask about that. He seemed like he was a little frustrated by it, trying to redo the lineup last seconds.
Could have had one of those AP tests after school. Are those still going on?
It is for the next week, I believe. 2nd pitch from Tyler. And that one's just chopped foul.
So if you're Tyler right here, you got a ground ball for out number 1. You got another chopping ground ball right there. You want to live low in the zone. You don't want to let them elevate. You want to let your defense work, and that'll be the bread and butter for him.
Tyler gets the first strike in the at-bat. It's 1-1.
It's not easy to live low in the zone either. Sometimes the ball just rides up on you too, but if you can master the skill, it's a pretty good one to have.
1 ball, 1 strike. Line drive. That one's going to drop in the gap. One hop off the fence. Carter rounds first, heading for second, and Nate Carter will have a stand-up double in this second inning for the Tigers.
Yeah, that's what happens when you elevate that a little bit. That one was hit on the screws. Especially on a warmer day like today, the ball's going to travel just a little bit farther.
Talk about playing hot as of late. Nate Carter extends his hitting streak to 5 games for this Ridgefield Tigers squad. In the game against Wilton on Monday, the team won 2-0 thanks to a solo home run for Carter. And Wilton High School is no easy task to hit a home run at, as Tyler calls off the pop-up in the infield, and the pitcher makes the catch for the second out. As Bellotti is set down 2 away for Adam Rosenfield.
Yeah, he must have had to crank that ball out to left field in order for that to be a home run at Wilton, because that right field, unless you're like Juan Soto or someone like that, you're not hitting it out there. You got to hit that a good 400-plus feet in right field.
It's interesting, the left field fence at Wilton covers the parking lot, so the fence is really high. But in right field, they bring a portable fence out, if I remember correctly, so it's a little bit easier out there, still a distance away.
Back in my day, I do not remember a portable fence out there, but I believe they do have one now. Staples is another one that has the portable fence out there that you could bump into and knock over.
Well, that's their soccer field in the fall.
Yes.
The right field, Wakeman Field.
It's a good block.
Which is interesting. You look at all these fields in the FCIAC and figuring out which ones have gone to turf and which ones are still using grass fields, really across the sport. Soccer, one of them that's moving more to turf, although you still see some like Wakeman at Staples that they do have the grass fields.
Turf's a little easier for the maintenance, but it's a lot harder on the joints.
That one, fly ball into center. Sabilio tracks it down, and Sabilio makes the catch. Ridgefield gets a hit off it, but they're unable to score. It's still 1-0 Wave. You're watching the DAF Media Network. We're back on the DAF Media Network. Sean Brophy first up for Darien in this second inning. Game Darien leads 1-0. First pitch, a ball to Brophy. Second pitch. Called strike. Brophy, that's over the first baseman's head. Carter not able to get there. Brophy will round first, but stay at first. A single for the Darien junior. What a way to lead off the second inning.
It's a good piece of hitting. Throws the pitch outside. Go with it, stay with it, hit it the other way. Just right over the first baseman's head, right off the glove.
A big hit for the junior, Sean Brophy. He stands on first for the catcher, Jack Nee, an underclassman, a sophomore for the Wave. Keating checks on Brophy and throws back to first. Once again, throwing back and checking on Brophy. What's the rationale as a pitcher for throwing over back-to-back pitches, or back-to-back attempts?
Well, obviously, you want to let him know you're paying attention. He doesn't get as large of a lead. It'll help your catcher pick him off a little bit.
And the throwback to first. Brophy caught into no man's land, but he gets back safely. A great throw from the catcher, Masonette, not able to get Brophy out.
Carter just missing the tag right there. Ball beat him to the bag, but it was a good slide back by Brophy. He was almost deer caught in the headlights there.
Brophy was taking an aggressive lead over there. Keating comes sets, and he comes home once again. The bunt laid down by Knee. A great bunt from Jack. He's hustling for first. On to first. The sack bunt works to perfection from the catcher, Jack Knee.
It's quite a bunt. Just staying fair.
Moves the runner to second base for the 9-hole hitter, Zach Yusko. Yusko starting in the place of Leo Zawacki at short.
Now this Darien team's got 2 cracks at it to try to get that runner in from second base after that well-executed bunt by Knee.
Called strike 1.
Darien's gotta hop on Keating here. He's throwing a lot of first pitch strikes, a lot of first pitch fastballs. You gotta start getting aggressive and hop on that.
Pitch just low. We saw Darien be aggressive in that first inning, had some hits. Zach Yusko looking for his first hit on the season. Only the 3rd game that he's seeing time in this season. I know one of the games was against Greenwich when Zawacki went down, and that one gets past the catcher, Masonette. Brophy takes 3rd with ease.
Got a big jump there. He's paying attention to him on first base, but he gets there at second base and didn't give him any looks, nothing. That's where Coach Scott's going to pick up on that and send his runner right away.
2-1. The runner now leads off at third base. 2-1 the count on Yusko. Takes strike 2. Yusko still hasn't swung the bat yet as the count moves to 2-2. Brophy stands 90 feet away on third base. And the 2-2 deal. Ball just low. Good frame by Masonette behind the dish.
Got to put the ball in play for Yusko here.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Foul tip caught by Masonette. Catcher's interference? Is that what the call's going to be?
I think he hit the catcher after he's finishing his swing on the backswing. I'm not sure if he hit the glove going straight. That looks to be the call. Looks to be strike 3.
And it was a foul tip caught. It was interesting because the home plate umpire called time and pointed at the catcher, Masonette, almost signaling a catcher's interference. Instead, it was a foul tip caught for the strikeouts. 2 away in the second.
Just wanted some confirmation on that one before he makes the official call.
Ball 1 on Zawacki. This is Dom Zawacki.
Yeah. Pretty certain that was just Yusko on the long backswing, catching the catcher a little bit.
And that would have been detrimental to the Tigers to put Yusko on first, especially after you just struck him out potentially. Although the Tigers won't have to deal with that as there's 2 away and the leadoff hitter Zawacki batting.
That'd be an interesting play you don't see every day.
We see catcher's interference quite a lot. 2 balls, no strikes. Grounder on the left side, fielded by the third baseman Rosenfield. On to first, in time. Darien leaves a runner on third. It's 1-0 after 2 on the DAF Media Network.
DAF Media is actively seeking financial support. Founded in 2017, DAF Media has quickly become Southwestern Connecticut's source for quality sports, arts, and community programming. If you like what you see on the DAF Media Network and want to help us continue to deliver high-quality broadcasts while teaching lifelong STEM, communication, organization, and leadership skills, please email us at sponsor@dafmedia.org. We are a registered 501c3 organization.
Mason Smith, Justin Keller, Miles Githfelt, the due up for this Ridgefield Tigers team in the third inning. The 9-hole hitter Smith, the only batter that hasn't batted yet for Ridgefield's. Looking to get some damage on Tyler, who's been pretty lights out so far. First pitch of ball up and in.
If you're Tyler here, you're starting with the 9 batter. You got to get this first out because you got top of the lineup rolling over. They've already seen you once, hit you around a little bit. It's a crucial first out to get.
Called strike, moves it to 0-2.
You can tell by his approach right there, he's trying to get this guy out right away. He's attacking.
0-2, Tyler ahead in the count. The pitch, foul back off the bat of Smith. Mason, a 182 hitter for Ridgefield, 4 for 22 in his at-bats. A middle infielder that has played some time for Ridgefield this year, looking to bring up his batting average, bring it above the Mendoza line. Although Owen Tyler working efficiently, 3 pitches in this at-bat, all 3 strikes to the Ridgefield junior. One, two, the ball outside. Just have to get confirmation on it. Tyler gets the sign and the deal on 1-2. Ball in the dirt off the umpire. A little too much on that curveball.
Just throwing it for some show there. Throwing it out of the zone, see if he can chase. Just a little overcompensation there.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Foul ball. What is that, like an old, BlackBerry ringtone?
I guess. It's not one you hear daily.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The deal from Tyler. Fly ball into center field. Sabilio comes in with some ease. Luke makes the catch for the first out.
This is something Tyler's done well. He's gotten I believe the leadoff guy out all 3 times, which is just good. Sets the precedent, sets the tone for the inning, and it's also a little weight off your back. Get the first guy out, you can just keep mowing down to the next one. Now you got top of the lineup here, rolling over to Keller. You got to watch out here. He hit you hard a few times. You just rung him up the last time. Interested to see Keller's approach here.
And Keller, weak fly ball, Zawacki. He's not able to get there. That one drops in front of Dolan, a single for the leadoff hitter for the Tigers. And Keller's a player that's not going to go down silently. His 17th hit on the season. And now there's a runner on first with 1 away for the 2-hole hitter, Miles Githfelt.
Keller's one of those guys that it's hard to describe, but he's got that look in his eyes. He's got that look in his eye where he's going to be aggressive. He's going to come out. He's going to hunt that fastball, and hunted that first pitch fastball and just drove it right into right field for a little single.
First pitch from Tyler. He throws back to Alini. Is it the look in his eyes that give you that feeling, or is it the one slash of eye black on his left eye that gives you that appearance?
Honestly, I don't pay attention to the eye black as much. Owen Tyler's also sporting that same little 1 hash of eye black under his left eye there.
Hit and run, foul ball from Githfelt.
But it all depends. Like as a pitcher, I'm studying like the whole batter's body language. I'm studying his swing path. I'm studying how he's perceiving the ball by his facial expressions. And certain batters come out there sticking their tongue out a little bit. They got that gleam in their eye, like they're aggressive. They're looking for the ball. While some others are a little bit more patient.
Bullet throw back to first. Alini puts a tag on Keller, not in time, however.
So as a pitcher, you got to read the whole batter's body language. And it'll change from pitch to pitch. This pitching, a lot of pitching is deception, so you want to see how much you can fool the hitter.
Once again, going back, throwing, and checking on Keller.
Then you also watch them looking down the line at their coach right now, as Githfelt is doing right now.
Keller, foul ball off of knee. And that's going to wake you up.
That's exactly what I was thinking, but he seemed to have ate that one pretty well. Unbothered.
And Jack Nee, an experienced catcher for this Darien team, just a sophomore, but starting on this varsity squad. And this sophomore class as a whole for Darien is really going to step up in the future of this program over the next 3 years or so. I mean, this team's going to be dangerous next year, Tim.
It's a good sign to see no matter what school you are, that the younger You got the younger freshmen, you got the sophomores. If they're already built up, they're already doing well, that's a good sign for the program. It's going to continue it. It's going to build up the program. Hopefully some leadership will come.
Checks back on the runner. Keller at first.
But it's always a good sign to see one or two sophomores and maybe once in a blue moon a freshman come up, is that they'll start to learn and start to lead the rest of their peers.
Keller takes off for second. The throw from knee, not in time. Justin Keller with the oh, and they get him. Over sliding the base. The announcer's jinx as Keller is caught stealing for the second out.
Well, I was talking about how Ridgefield's going to do on this turf defensively, but the one part we did leave out was offensively, possibly over sliding the bag there, because you kind of take off, you don't have nearly as much friction as you do with the dirt.
Line drive and a left. And that one will drop a single for Githfeld. And Ridgefield's got some life in him in this third inning, and it raises the question, Tim, if you don't elect to steal there, would the runner have scored?
No.
No?
Well, he would have just gone to second base.
You don't think they would have given him the turn at third at least?
You're saying if he's safe at second base, he would have scored.
But if he doesn't steal, you think they at least move him to third?
I don't think so, because there would only be one out at that point, so then he's going to freeze on that a little bit. He would only have gotten to third.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about the outs.
Yeah. Because that ball was hitting the air a little bit. It didn't just die till the last second, so would have had a little bit of hang. The play's in front of him. It's up to the runner. Sometimes you play it safe and stay there, but he probably would have gone to third. That was Keller, correct?
Yep, that was Justin Keller, the speedy Ridgefield Tigers leadoff hitter. But again, a guy with just as much speed as Miles Githfeld, who stands on first base, as Carlotis is a little behind that one. Moves the count to 0-2, and once again, Tyler has a hitter down 0-2 in the count.
It's a big pitch.
Runner takes off, fouling it back off the backstop. Tigers are aggressive on the base paths, at least.
Yeah, they're trying to test Knee out there. So Knee had a good throw. Keller was safe. Unfortunate that he came off the bag, in fact. So Ridgefield, technically, I'm going to say 2 for 2 on steals, even though he came off the bag there.
Ball just low, Knee. The pump fake throws down, and that one off the umpire.
Oof.
I mean, on the bright side, the umpire stopped him from going in the outfields.
He did indeed. It's always an interesting play when it hits the umpire. I was watching the Yankee game last night. Ball bounced right off Laz Diaz, and they called everything dead. But that was a ball batted in play.
What was the situation? Line drive hit Laz Diaz?
Yeah, Laz Diaz was in the same position as that umpire. They got the force out at second base, but they called it a dead ball, and the guy was safe going to second base, even though he was clearly out off a force play.
Well, if it hits the umpire before it gets to the outfield and the fielder can't make a play on it, then it is dead. So
Yeah,
it was the right call.
it hit him and then ricocheted to the shortstop.
Nonetheless, 1-2. The count. Tyler looking to set down Carlotis. Ball upstairs, moves it to 2-2, and Peter staying alive.
Tyler's up the velocity a little bit. He's bringing it a little bit more now. You can hear the pop of the glove and Knee right there. He's trying to elevate the ball a little bit. Already got a swing and miss from it, and you see if he can do it again.
2-2, strike three, swinging. The curveball works to perfection. And Owen Tyler sets down the Tigers, not before they get 2 hits, but leave 1 on base. No runs scored. It's still 1-0 Wave. First pitch from Keating to Dylan Alini. That's a called strike, so Keating gets the first pitch strike in the bottom of the third. It's the 2, 3, 4 hitters for Darien. Dylan Alini, Brenton Dolan, Simeon Dahl due up. Alini had a nice single back in the first inning, came home and scored the only run in this ball game.
He's looking to do it again, looking to get his team started.
1-1 the count to Alini. Ball just low from Keating. Try to figure out what the dugout is chanting. Interesting chance there. Dribbler foul on the left side, moves it to 2-2.
One of the main things I heard is they called him Sticks, which is a common nickname for a player who wears the number 11.
Sticks, I can see that.
Yeah.
Especially Darien wearing their alternate baby blue jerseys today with the wave text reading across the chest, something they just got apparently as of in the recent weeks. They've always had one alternate jersey. In the past, it's usually been black or so. They've gone with the baby blues in the more recent years. It's always been interesting to see the baby blues, especially when they made that their home jersey a couple of years ago. Line drive with some authority over the shortstop Smith. Alini puts the head down, but he will stay at first. A single for Dylan Alini, and he's 2 for 2 as the leadoff batter reaches in this third inning.
That's big. This Wave team needs him. He starts him off with the single, and now they can have some fun. Gonna have Dolan bunt. You're gonna have Alini steal. Let's see what happens.
The right fielder, Brenton Dolan, steps in. He went down swinging in his first at-bat in the first inning. And a pickoff attempt. Dolan wasn't even ready inside the batter's box, and Keating already threw over.
Is that part of that paranoia you were talking about earlier?
I think it might be.
It's picking off a little too early. Whenever you do that as a pitcher, you're kind of a little surprised.
This is the time in Major League Baseball where they would be signaling that's your first pickoff attempt in the at-bats. Even though, can you even pick off on the first pitch, or do you have to throw a pitch first?
No, you can pick off right away.
But you only get 2 per batter?
You get that disengagement, as they like to call it, right away. Or disengagement.
1 ball, no strikes. Keating comes set and delivers. Behind it is Dolan for strike 1.
He's bringing it. Pop the gloves a little different.
As I mentioned, Brenton Dolan, he's got 4 hits on the season, 2 of which are doubles, so half of his hits are extra base hits for this Wave team.
Look to see him go down the line.
Dolan line drive. That's a caught ball by the third baseman, Adam Rosenfield. He puts the glove out, makes the snag, and there's 1 gone.
The Rosenbach they had to move?
Yeah, looks like the pitcher Keating must have kicked that.
It's a possibility.
1 away, Simeon Dahl stepping in. The lefty for the Wave had the RBI single back in the first inning. Scored Alini all the way from second. Looking to drive home Alini once again. Keating with the first pitch of the at-bat. Ooh, playing some chin music on it, ball 1.
That's interesting because Dahl is the one lefty here in the lineup, so he's got to pitch him a little bit differently than the rest of the righty batters. He could be living on that outer zone, but Dahl's in that box. That's right in his wheelhouse.
Ball outside. I believe he's the only lefty for either side in this contest.
I believe so. I don't think I saw any lefties in the Ridgefield lineup. Could be on the bench, but not in the starting lineup.
This goes to show righties are dominant in the game of baseball. It's rare to see a lefty or two. Alini takes off for second. Dahl the hit and run. That one's in play. The first baseman Carter goes over to first, but Dylan Alini moves up to second base. And there's 2 away for Tommy Karczewski. Karczewski, one of the best hitters on this Darien team. 14 RBIs this season, the team leader in them. Looking to bring up his .283 batting average. Reach it via the E8, in which he lined one to Keller in the first inning, and Keller just couldn't make the grab on it.
He's looking to get another RBI right here.
Called strike, and the thing with Karczewski is he hits the ball so hard that sometimes the fielders just don't make a play on it because the ball, they blink and it's right at their glove. 0-1 Keating ahead on the batter, Karczewski. And Keating keeping a close eye on Alini.
Yeah, he's paying attention after that last inning. They stole third base with ease because he did not make any sort of attempt to watch the runner at second.
Keating with the delivery home. Karczewski pops this one in the infield. Up high, towering fly ball. Carter in foul territory makes the grab for out number 3. And Chris Keating gets out of it untouched through 3. It's Darien 1, Ridgefield nothing on the DAF Media Network.
This broadcast is produced by DAF Media, a joint venture between the Darien Foundation and the Darien Athletic Foundation. The production is staffed by student and adult volunteers from the town of Darien and southwestern Connecticut.
Back on the DAF Media Network, Owen Tyler getting ready for his 4th inning of work. He's held the Tigers scoreless through the first 3. Although it's Felix Masonette, the catcher, and the cleanup hitter to first greet Tyler in this new inning.
Had a very long, lengthy at-bat last time. Let's see how it goes now.
First pitch from Tyler, fouled it back from Masonette. And he did have that long at-bat, resulted in a strikeout of Masonette. And that's one that the more pitches the hitter sees, you get scared as a pitcher because it just takes one to get you on base, potentially even score a run.
Just takes that one mistake you accidentally throw on the 10th pitch of the at-bat.
Masonette, line drive in a left. That's going to drop in front of Karczewski. A single for the 4-hole hitter. And Ridgefield's in business in this 4th inning.
Masonette wins that battle. And that, I believe, is their first leadoff guy on base for the Ridgefield Tigers.
It is indeed. How about this for a stat? This is the 7th half inning we played. All 7 half innings have seen a hit. So no one's been sat down 1, 2, 3 thus far. Tyler's pitched 48 pitches thus far. And a ball on his 49th. Fifth hit for the Tigers, and now Chris Keating, the pitcher, steps in looking to help his cause. Keating watches it inside, 2-0. Interesting game so far, through 3, 1-0 Darien leads Ridgefield. You're watching the DAF Media Network. Britton Schenk, Tim Bellingham with you. So glad you can be with us, wherever you may be. Keating takes another.
It's a beautiful day out today. This is going to start a streak of a few nice days, but it's going to be 77 tomorrow, 80 the next day, carrying into Saturday, nice and sunny. Good time for baseball.
It's like some perfect baseball weather as Darien will finish out their season in the next week or so. They head to Stanford tomorrow before hosting Wilton on Monday. Then Fairfield Ward next Wednesday, their final regular season game. The Mustangs come to town, one of the top teams in the FCIAC this year. Ward sitting at an astonishing 11-4 this season. As Keating lines this one into center, Sabilio watches as it drops, a single for Chris Keating, and the first 2 Tigers reach in this 4th inning. Nate Carter will step in, but Tim, how does that affect the mentality of a pitcher that the first 2 batters reach in this inning?
Well, it was your first inning getting the leadoff guy not out. He got on base. He had 2 back-to-back singles. You got to watch your pitches now. You got to get him a little lower in the zone, and you got to get that ground ball double play. Interested to see if he's going to bunt here to get both runners into scoring position and to take away the double play.
Masonette on second, Keating on first. The batter, Nate Carter, takes called strike one.
Does not look like Carter's bunting. Alini's still playing up there at first base, waiting for the bunt. Same thing with Brophy over at third base.
Will Smosky starting to get loose in the Darien bullpen as Tyler watches back both runners. And Tyler's pitched so effectively so far, as he's gotten through the first 3 innings untouched. And an interesting tactic from Masonette over at second. Ground ball foul back. Almost looked like he went to the shortstop Yusko and said something to him, and that was dictating his lead.
Well, there's different schools of thoughts on taking a lead. Sometimes there's like a slight depth perception where you see Masonette, who's all the way out there, and then they slowly come back in. So they seem like they're closer to the bag than they actually are. Now he's slowly creeping back in, but he's out of the base path. I don't know what he's doing.
Masonette playing essentially shortstop, and now he creeps it. Called strike 3, looking. Doesn't fool Tyler as he sets down Carter on 3 pitches. There's one away.
It's a big out. You got to watch out there, your Masonette, because you got the shortstop coming in to field the ball. If he hits the runner, the guy's going to be called out because the runner's going to be in his way for fielding. He's out of the base path.
Well, he's out anyways if the ball hits you.
Well, I'm saying if the fielder bumps into the runner and doesn't make the play, it's an obstruction call.
But the issue with the 2-man umpiring system is who's looking for that. The home plate umpire's now watching for it. The field umpire's got his back towards the shortstop position. So by the time that Masonette would get back in position on it, he might avoid the call. You never know.
Well, the field umpire's going to watch the ball the whole way. He's going to see it. You got to sell your shortstop fall over.
Ground ball off the end of the bat. Zawacki to Yusko. The turn. In time. The 4-6-3 gets Darien out of the 4th untouched. It's still 1-0 Wave, and this team is firing on all cylinders. We'll be back with more baseball between the Wave and the Tigers on the DAF Media Network. Luke Sibilio awaits the pitcher, Chris Keating. Sibilio will lead off this 4th inning for the Wave after Owen Tyler got out of a very sticky situation, untouched in the top half. Sibilio shows bunt and pulls it back. I don't think either one of us thought that they were getting out of that jam untouched. The first 2 batters reached, first and second. They had a strong hitter and Cormac Bellotti coming up, and he just grounds one to Zawacki, who makes a nice turn to Yusko, and Yusko fires to Alini for the double play. So Wave got out of it.
It's a little bit of a Houdini act there. He got first and second, no outs, and then he gets out of it.
Sibilio. That's a fair ball. Nice play by the third baseman on the ground, and the scoop in time. Carter with the big scoop, and there's one away, but Adam Rosenfield, the third baseman, laying out to grab that one. And if you're Darien, there's nothing you can do about that. A hard hit contact. Rosenfield made one heck of a play over to Carter, and There's one away in the bottom of the fourth.
It's a good stab. He's playing up a little bit. That ball's going to come at him a little faster than usual, but good stab, good pick by his first baseman over there in Carter.
Now Sean Brophy will step back in. He hit a single back in the second inning. A lone hit for Darien in the second frame. Brophy takes it low. Sean batting. Actually, that was his first hit of the season for Sean. Did have a RBI this year. However, he has one hit now to his name.
Good for him.
Fly ball. Second baseman chasing it all the way back.
Might be
Bellotti, but he
trouble.
lets the right fielder grab it. Carlotis makes the second out.
Looked like that was going to land. No man's land for a second. When you see your right fielder booking it in like that, you know it has a possibility of dropping.
Jack Nee steps up with the Kanye West walk-up song. I believe that was Kanye, right?
Yeah. It's Homecoming. Song commonly played by the White Sox.
That's right. It's a good call right there. Second pitch from Keating. And fly ball, and Masonette, I don't think he knew that that ball was, actually went out of play anyways. Nonetheless, 1-1 the count. How did you know that the White Sox played that? Have you been out to, U.S. Cellular Bank Park or whatever they call it?
No, I've not. I just have a close friend who's an avid White Sox fan. Ben Olson, former catcher of Darien Blue Wave.
Better yet, former DAF Media member Ben Olson. And a play off the shortstop. Rosenfield Smith don't communicate on it, and Nee will reach first.
Ben Olson's a house name here at Darien. He's got his younger brother Andrew Olson on the current roster.
And Ben Olson, I believe now off at to Purdue, I want to say?
Yes, yes.
Is he playing baseball for the Boilermakers?
Oh, no, he is not.
Definitely a legend for sure, Ben Olson. Did you think when you woke up this morning you'd be referencing Ben Olson and Houdini in the same broadcast this afternoon?
No.
No?
I did not.
Like those were your last two references you made.
They were indeed. A little shameless plug there for my #1 catcher.
What-oh. That's right, you guys were the battery back in the day for Darien, back in the glory years of wave baseball. Went on to win some FCIAC championships, I believe.
Many years I was throwing him. I have the pleasure of him being my longtime catcher. Building that relationship was a fun time.
1-1. Yusko behind him, moving it to 1-2. And if I remember correctly, did you get Ben Olson to come and commentate a couple of years ago with the great Ted Brennan?
We did a joint commentating. It was Ted Brennan leading the way, and then Ben and I were the color analysis, kind of going back and forth. It was a great broadcast. We did 1 or 2 broadcasts like that.
Talk about a dynamic broadcasting trio right there. I don't think it gets much better than that right there, folks. 1-2.
I'm going to stay humble in that one.
Ball just outside. A good frame from Masonette. Doesn't get the call. I mean, you've got one of the best pitchers in Darien baseball history, one of the best catchers in Darien baseball history, and Ted Brennan, who I would say one of the greatest announcers in DAF media history. 2-2. Keating gets the sign, comes set at the belt, and delivers. Strike 3, gets Yusko. Swinging. And we are through 4. Darien still holds the 1-0 lead as Chris Keating sits down Yusko with authority. There's still 3 frames to play. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the DAF Media Network. It's Ridgefield and Darien. 8-9-1 due up for the Ridgefield Tigers. Adam Rosenfield to get us started. The third baseman due up first in this 5th inning. Rosenfield, one of the 3 sophomores on Mike Scarlett's team. Haven't talked about that. Head coach Mike Scarlett leading the Ridgefield Tigers, and head coach Mike Scott leading the Darien Blue Wave.
Battle of the Mikes.
And their last names share the first 2 letters, SC.
Interesting.
Would have been interesting if both their names were Mike Scott.
That would be a little freaky. It'd be like Freaky Friday. However, today is a Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday in mid-May, folks. First pitch from Tyler, a ball. Upstairs, moved it to 2-0.
Doesn't get better than this, though. You got a midweek game, nice and sunny out, close game, good opponent. This is what you want. This is what you look for.
Ball just low. Ridgefield comes into play today with a 2-game winning streak. They beat Norwalk, they beat Wilton, but what's really shocking is you look at their road record this year. What's that? 1-6 this year in road games for the Ridgefield Tigers. They did take down Brian McMahon over at in Norwalk, Connecticut, called strike on the batter, Rosenfield. But other than that, they lost to Greenwich, they lost to New Canaan, they lost to Ward, Amity, Staples, Danbury, and Joel Barlow, all on the road. It's a team that is undefeated in home play, 9-0, versus 8-0, but they've struggled on the road this year, Tim Bellingham.
It's quite an interesting split. There's a team that's pretty good, can win home and away, but it's a very interesting split. I would understand if they were like the Wave here, where they have a turf field, which isn't as common across the FCIAC. There aren't as many turf fields. That would make sense, but they do play on a dirt field. Obviously, they have the advantage playing at Governor's Park, but I do find it very interesting they're only 1-6 on the road, especially since some of the road opponents in the FCIAC aren't as good.
Actually, 1-7.
1-7
on the road. Like I said, 8-0 and home play at Governor's Park. It just shows you the home field advantage that Ridgefield has. And overall, the town of Ridgefield has some of the best venues, as that walk will end Tyler's day. Will Smosky coming out of the bullpen. We'll tell you more about Will when we return on the DAF Media Network. New pitcher in the game for Darien, the likes of Will Smosky, the right-hander, coming in. 1 2/3 innings pitched this year, the 16.8 ERA. 2 strikeouts to his name. However, Smosky, the senior captain, only the 2nd or 3rd game he's pitched this year for Darien. And what's important for Will to do in this outing right here?
Well, you got a runner on first. You got to live down in the zone. Can't let Ridgefield get the opportunity to elevate the ball. When the ball's been elevated today, Ridgefield's hit it hard. They have a few singles to the left side. They got a ball that one-hopped out there, one-hopped the wall out there out in left center. You got to get the ball down. Got to try to get that double play to get yourself. Oh, wait, there's no outs. Get yourself, clear the bases.
No outs on it. Smosky's 4th game of the year. Nick D'Orso will come over to pinch run at first base in the place of the batter who just reached via the walk, Adam Rosenfield. So pinch runner D'Orsi and Mason Smith due up the shortstop.
It's a big out to get to the 9 batter.
And final line for Owen Tyler. He can't close the book yet. He is still responsible for that runner on first, but 4 innings pitched, 6 hits against, 3 walks, and 1 strikeout to his name. As now Smosky will take over first pitch. Smith draws the bunt over to the right side.
Ridgefield trying to get the runners in motion here, trying to get something going, push that guy into scoring position for the top of the lineup to come up.
Ridgefield's left 4 guys on base today, 1 in each of the first 4 innings. So they've had the base runners opportunities. They just haven't been able to score a runner this contest.
A little Houdini act in the last inning stopped him.
Smith shows bunt once again, and the throw over to first, taken off for second is Diorsi, and Diorso will reach second. An interesting play there as Nick Diorso thought about stealing. Knee threw back behind him at first, but Diorso was halfway to second and takes second with ease.
That's a little tricky when he's caught in between like that. You kind of have to freeze the runner there if you're knee, because he's a little too far off the bag to throw to first base. And in baseball terms, when you're throwing to first base there, you're kind of throwing behind the runner. That's how he was able to advance to second.
1-1 the count. Smosky checks on Diorso at second. Delivers home. Smith bunts it. Once again, foul. Moves it to 1-2. And now do you still think we see a bunt from Mason Smith?
No. He was unsuccessful in 2 attempts there. He had his 2 attempts. Not quite sure what he was doing there.
Well, he was trying to bunt. That's what he was trying to do.
He's pulling back the bat a little bit, though. He's trying to bunt for a hit is what it's looking like. This is a sacrifice situation. You got to stay in that box and just lay the bunt down. There's no outs. You got to sacrifice it.
1-2 strikes. Smosky checks on Diorso at second. Comes home on it. Ball. The call. This umpire calling a tight zone, but has been calling it equally both ways this afternoon. Yet again, from our vantage point on the third base dugout, I don't think we have the best vantage point for balls and strikes, especially for a right-handed batter. 2-2. Fly ball. Lazy fly ball. Dolan comes in on it. He makes the grab. Diorso thought about tagging, instead retreats to second, and that's the first out in the 5th inning.
It's a big first out, gets you rolling if you're Samosky there. And we'll see what happens. It's very interesting when you come right into the game. You got the first batter trying to bunt against you because you don't really have much of a game plan. Am I going to pitch up to avoid the barrel? Am I going to pitch inside as well to try to jam him? It's a little tricky at first when you got a guy bunting. Now you got a guy here who's going for a hit, so you got to adjust your game plan here. Top the lineup with Keller. Let's see what happens.
Jason Keller stepping in, the leadoff batter for the Tigers. He leads this team in just about every offensive category. Leads them with 16 hits, 10 RBIs, 11 stolen bases. He can do it all on the offensive end, and one stellar center fielder for this Tigers team.
What else? Quarterback and point guard as well?
Yeah. I believe all FCIAC for at least one of those, if not both. Led Ridgefield all the way to a playoff race this fall with the Ridgefield varsity football team. Just fell short, however, missing the 8-team playoff. The basketball season, Ridgefield went far into March, playing the Division I tournament, looking to continue those successes to the baseball squad this fall or this spring. And Smosky will throw over to Zawacki, checking on the runner, Diorso. And when Nick Diorso is taking that big of a lead on second base, you got to check back at one point.
Yeah. Got to pay some attention to him. He almost ran on that last drop ball by knee. He's looking to go.
0-1, Smosky ahead in the count. And the curveball just low, 1-1. Again, Owen Tyler's day is done. He went 4 innings in the quality start for Darien, and now Will Smosky will come in. Looking to keep this lead with the wave. 1-1 strike. Keller, ground ball. Yusko makes the grab, and he throws over to Brophy, but a good job by Zach Yusko to grab it and stop the ball from going to the infield. A single for Keller. Moves it to runners on the corners. Keller reaches first via the single. Miles Githfeldt comes back in. Jack Nee will call out the sign, first and third. Do you think they give Keller second base here?
I don't know, honestly. They have a few different design plays. They may throw down and have Zawacki over there at second base. Sorry, cut it off and then see if you can get Diorso to bite to go home.
You know, these are 2 of the best runners for Ridgefield. Keller, 11 stolen bases. He'll take off for second, and Jack Nee will let him take it. Not really sure what that was. Sort of half pump fake, as Keller will take second with ease. Runners at second and third now for the Tigers.
I don't think they designed a play for that. They didn't really shout anything out. Didn't have Nee go out there and give out any signs. I think it was honestly. Oh, I missed that. It was just a hold play.
Old Wave got a strike out of it, however. That's the plus side.
You're going to take that strike so we can get to second base, see what happens now.
Githfeldt tried call time. He doesn't get it. 0-2 at the knees. A great pitch from Smosky. And now Miles Githfeldt finds himself down 0-2. And he's asking our home plate umpire. He thought he called time on it, had the hand up. The umpire said not today. And then the pitch was dealt to Githfeldt. And does that make the pitcher feel good when you see the batter trying to call time?
You take the free strike, but sometimes you don't know what they're planning.
0-2. Ball outside the throwaway pitch.
Sometimes they'd be calling time to fix their gloves or step out, get the sign from coach. You never know. This Ridgefield team has been picking up some hits, so I don't really see them doing a squeeze bunt here to get that run across. They're trying to drive in too.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Ground ball over to third baseman Brophy. He fires home. Knee with the tag in time. The fielder's choice, Sean Brophy, cuts down Diorso at the plate, and it remains 1-0 Wave. A great play by the junior third baseman.
That's just a little bit too aggressive approach there. They tell you they're at third base. When balls hit right to third base, when you're the runner on third. When the ball's hit right to third base, that's when you freeze, especially a ball hit hard like that, especially a ball in the turf. He was easily thrown out at home. Good tag there by Knee. Just a little bit too aggressive of an approach. Luckily for them, Keller moves up to third base as well.
Pinch hitter for the Tigers. It will be Everett Greenwood, the senior, hitting in the place of Felix Masonette.
They do have a lefty. Here he is in Greenwood.
First pitch and foul back.
Kind of situational baseball there. It's tough. Runner's got to go back.
Although, once again, that was Githfeld taking off for second. Second on this Ridgefield team with stolen bases. 7 to his name. Stole one back. Actually, no, it was Carlotis with the stolen base. But still a speedy guy, Miles Githfeld.
And Githfeld takes second base there on defensive indifference.
So Carlotis is pinch hit for by Greenwood. I might have said Masonette, but Masonette remains in the lineup as the 4-hole hitter, just to clarify. 0-2, Smosky looking to get out of the inning. The pitch. Weak fly ball on the left side. Zawacki, the on to first. He's out! Dylan Alini gets back to the base in time, and the Wave sit down the Tigers once again. 2 great defensive plays by Darien, and it remains 1-0 Blue Wave.
DAF Media is actively seeking financial support. Founded in 2017, DAF Media has quickly become Southwestern Connecticut's source for quality sports, arts, and community programming. If you like what you see on the DAF Media Network and want to help us continue to deliver high-quality broadcasts while teaching lifelong STEM, communication, organization, and leadership skills, please email us at sponsor@dafmedia.org. We are a registered 501c3 organization.
The technology upgrades provided by the Darien Foundation has been a game changer for us. It's allowed us to improve our training. It has helped us hone our skills. Thanks to our partnership with the Darien Foundation, who's provided all this technology and several grants throughout the years, we're able to continue to be prepared to respond whenever you need it.
I'd like to thank the Darien Foundation for their continued support They've been a wonderful partner, and they've taken this vision that we've had for this property and make it a reality.
Thanks to the Darien Foundation, we have this amazing new van, and we are so excited about it and what it'll do for the community.
This is going to be a real improvement in the services we provide. The Darien Foundation is important to the community in the scope that they reach out to answer needs.
It's important for people to be proud of where they live and to understand that if they want a better society, that they need to fund places like the Darien Foundation and the places like the Mather Homestead, because they're so rich in cultural achievements that it makes it a better place to live.
Celebrating and supporting Darien athletes. That is a simple mission of the Darien Athletic Foundation. Broadcasting live from the field, DAF Media covers 125 games a year. All Darien teams, our youth, in our town, on our fields. Fields like the Center Oval and Upper Oval turfs, the JV softball field, and Stadium East, the longest turf in New England. All made possible by the Darien Athletic Foundation and its generous founders and donors. The Darien Athletic Foundation is not just committed to building our town's athletic infrastructure, it's improving the civic infrastructure for everyone to enjoy. The multimedia scoreboard, the snack bar pavilion, and the stadium lights, a $750,000 investment that makes Darien High School just the second school in Connecticut with LED lights. The Darien Athletic Foundation board is made up of local parents who know just how quickly it goes by. Its archives of more than 60,000 photos capture those precious moments of our young athletes as they strive to be their very best. The Darien Athletic Foundation has raised almost $9.5 million for our town and its kids, and it's not stopping there, as it continues to build a legacy for our youth as bright as their future, both on and off the field.
Welcome you back to the DHS Varsity Baseball Field. About to begin the bottom of the fifth. An injury for Everett Greenwood, the number 3 player for Ridgefield, came off the bench to pinch hit in the place of Carlotis, and now looks like some miscommunication on the golf cart.
Yeah, we got a classic golf cart delay right now. Waiting for the trainer to get off the field here and go attend to Greenwood over there on the bench. Looked like him and Alini over there at first base kind of each twisted ankles on each other. We actually had Alini come over here and break it down to us.
What did he say?
Well, he said that he screwed up the play a little bit, covering the bag, kind of stood right on top of the bag. Both their ankles kind of, or both their feet kind of stepped on each other, both kind of twisted their ankles a little bit. Fortunate that Alini is okay and on the on-deck circle, and unfortunate that Greenwood is over there on the bench, but it's good that he will get the attention he needs.
First pitch, a bunt down the line, a beautiful bunt. Zawacki will reach with ease. The bunt starts off the 5th beautifully for Dom Zawacki, and the leadoff hitter is aboard in the 5th.
Keeping Ridgefield on their toes right there. They were not expecting that one.
And now Dylan Alini will step up 2 for 2 in the contest with 2 singles. And he has been the hot bat for Darien so far today. Scored the 1 run in the ball game back in the 1st.
Good to see Alini in good spirits after that unfortunate play that ended the last half inning. Sure, he feels much better now that Greenwood is getting the attention he needs over there on the bench.
Keating with the deal. Alini ground ball, tripped just foul, dribbled up foul rather. If you're just joining us, Braden Shank and Tim Bellingham with you. So glad you can be with us on the DAF Media Network. DAF, a joint venture of the Darien Athletic Foundation and the Darien Foundation, bringing you live coverage of this varsity baseball match between Darien and Ridgefield. Keating checks on Zawacki at first and delivers home. Throwback from Masonette, not in time.
Second time they've tried that today. You got to be mindful if you're this Darien team. You got to hustle back to the bag. Last thing you need is to get bat picked right after you got that leadoff hit.
Keating checks on Zawacki at first. Comes set at the belt. Zawacki takes off for second. Masonette, the throw down to second, and Zawacki stills it.
A little bit of style on that slide, a little pop-up slide, a little spin.
And now Darien's got a runner on second. No outs in the bottom of the 5th, looking to add some insurance to this wave lead. They scored in the 1st inning with a Simeon Dahl RBI single, but haven't scored since, and they've kept this Tigers team off the board. Alini, ground ball over to second baseman Bellotti. And he throws it over to first, but Alini does move Zawacki to third, and Darien's got another runner just 90 feet away.
That's good situational baseball right there. You're Zawacki on second base. A ball hit to the right side, you're going to go. It's exactly what Alini did. Put the ball in play, move him over into scoring position, another 90 feet closer to home plate.
Brenton Dolan will step in. The 3-hole hitter for Darien. 0 for 2 in the ball game, although he lined out on a rocket to the third baseman, Rosenfields.
Darien needs him right here.
Dolan ground ball. And a great play by Smith. Watching Zawacki back, firing over to Carter at first, and there's 2 away. You can't do it any better if you're a shortstop than that.
Yeah, that is difficult there, but Zawacki made the right call. He got the infield in there, protecting against the run. Just has to freeze him there.
Another hard contact from Brenton Dolan.
Good play by Smith at shortstop.
Dahl steps in, looking for his second RBI, and he has it! Through the right side, Simeon Dahl will step on first as he has another RBI single. It's 2-0 Wave in the 5th.
That's a good piece of hitting. Nice line drive, hunting that first pitch fastball. He gets it right in his zone, lines it right to right field.
The lefty stays level on the swing, lines one between Bellotti and Carter, and he has his second RBI of the ball game.
That's big here, bottom 5, big.
Tommy Karczewski steps in. Karczewski takes a called strike one. 0 for 2 in the ball game, reached on the error in the first, and then popped down to the first baseman in foul territory in the 3rd inning.
And Keating's still out here. He's still pumping strikes. You got to get ready to go if you're this Darien Blue Wave team.
Karczewski, that one's going to get through. Simeon will be held at second, but a single for Tommy Karczewski, and Darien's got a 2-out rally brewing.
You just had a feeling he was going to get one that was going to find a gap somewhere today.
And now the catcher, Masonette, will come out and talk to his pitcher. Infield will aid him.
No Coach Scarlett going out yet, so he does not get the hook quite yet. Interested to see if there is someone warmed up in the pen, but that is out of our field of vision currently.
I think we need those bullpen cameras like they have in the major leagues.
That would be something else.
Add that to the budget next year. Nonetheless, Masonette will tromp back out. Good time to tell you about our fantastic DAF Media production crew, bringing you the sights and sounds in this one. Neve Sagel, Tyler Simon, Connor Fagan, and our DAF Media advisor, Damian Andrew, Braden Shank, Tim Bellingham with you. So glad you can be with us on the DAF Media Network. Runner takes out for third. And Dahl is out. The cut stealing is how Ridgefield gets out of it. Felix Masonette cutting down Dahl, although not before. Darien gets their second run on it thanks to a Simeon Dahl RBI single. It's 2-0 Wave after 5 on the DAF Media Network. Back on the DAF Media Network, Will Smosky getting set for his second inning of work out of the bullpen. Neutron's back, 2-0 Darien leads Ridgefield. You can finally close the book on Owen Tyler's day. 4 innings pitched, 6 hits against, 3 walks, 1 strikeout, no earned runs, no runs period for the Darien junior pitcher. As now Smosky will look to settle in and get his first batter he faces in the inning. Felix Masonette, who had a beautiful throw down to third on the caught stealing.
So I did just get a look over there at the Ridgefield bullpen. It does look like we got Palmer warming up down there in the pen. So it looks to be that Keating's day could possibly be done.
It'll be Slade Palmer coming in, although we will wait and see. Ridgefield would like to get a run for their starting pitcher. Ball upstairs again. The last game that Keating pitched was all the way back on May 3rd at Greenwich High School. It was a game that the Ridgefield Tigers lost 1-0. It was a beautiful start from Keating, although the offense failed to produce for Keating. And once again, a similar story. No runs, although 7 hits for the Tigers. They've just been leaving runners on base. Called strike 2.
It's almost like that year where Jacob deGrom won the Cy Young with a losing record due to the lack of run support. Sorry to have that one hurt a little bit there, Braden.
Yep.
Cy Young award winner nonetheless.
Before he left and broke all of our hearts. Fly ball in the center field, left center. Caught by the left fielder, Tommy Korzuski. One away. And you look at this Ridgefield Tigers team, I was just adding it up. 7 guys left, or 2, 3, 4, 6 guys left on base so far in this contest. As now it's down on the wrong side of my scorecard.
6 guys left on base, 1 thrown out at home.
Chris Keating, the pitcher, stepping in, called strike.
Both teams tied with the 7 hits, but Darien gets out that 2 runs.
And when you have a guy like Simeon Dahl who can hit that ball on the right side, find a hole in the coverage, bring a runner home, it is so effective, especially as the DH doing exactly what he's brought on to do, something this Ridgefield team doesn't have. They don't have a DH in their lineup. So playing DH-less, and they're trailing 2-0.
Yeah, and that could be all part of the game, all timely hitting. Simeon Dahl coming off the bench, or not, well, technically off the bench since he's not playing in the field. He's in the lineup. But he's ready to hit, and he had squared up that ball.
Fly ball. Sibilio tracks it down, makes the catch in center for the second out. And there's 2 away for the big bat of Nate Carter. Smosky's dealing out there. Much better outing for Will Smosky than he's seen all season. It felt like he's been hit around a lot this year in his 1 2/3 innings pitched this year. Although he's finally settling down, keeping his composure, throwing strikes, and letting his fielders behind him do the work.
Yeah, and the 1 2/3 is a small sample size, but it all depends how you look at it. But it's very interesting that he's 1 2/3 coming out of the pen, a big game like this. Interesting that it was picked there by Mike Scott as opposed to some of the other bullpen arms.
Off speed, dropping just low.
Good looking pitch though, good show pitch right there. Carter's got to keep that one in the back of his mind.
Darien looking to do something that they have yet to do in the month of May, and that is win a ball game. They have lost their last 5 as Carter caught by Zach Yusko. Not even a flinch from the Darien Jr. catching the rocket for the 3rd out, and the Tigers go down 1, 2, 3. It's Darien 2, Ridgefield nothing on the DAF Media Network. We're back on the DAF Media Network. Luke Sibilio first up in the 6th. The Darien center fielder 0 for 2 in the ball game. A line out to the left fielder and a ground out to the 3rd baseman. Sibilio looking to start a rally for the Wave.
Keating is still out there. He might be going batter to batter at this point, down by 2.
First pitch from Keating. Fired home. Ball upstairs on Luke Sibilio, up and in. That's a first ball on Luke Sibilio. Sibilio has the speed for Darien, batting .207 entering play. 0 for 2 in the contest, but again, a ground ball now chopped off to the 3rd base coach, Mike Scott, who makes the play on it, moving the count to 1-1. A Wave team that scored in the 5th inning thanks to an RBI single from Simeon Dahl. They lead 2-0 in this ball game.
Looking to see if the bottom of the lineup can get something going here.
Ball just outside. Masonette chased over to the left-handed batter's box. Moves it to 2-1 now.
They need those 2 runs. Some of these ball games have been tough for them to close out.
Keating comes set and delivers. Fouled back off the backstop. A line drive fouled back from Luke Sibilio. And now 2-2. Keating will look to sit down Sibilio.
There's that high fastball there. We've now seen all 3 outcomes today. The fly ball, the strikeout, and now the foul out straight back. Or not foul out, foul ball straight back.
Keating from the stretch. Fly ball on the right side. Coming over as the second baseman, Bellotti. He calls off his infielders, and Connor Bellotti makes the catch at second base for the first out. 1 down after the pop out to the second baseman. Sean Brophy will step in. The junior 1 for 2 in the contest. A single in the 2nd inning, a fly out in the 4th. getting his first start of the season at third base. Brophy digs into the right-handed batter's box, quickly met with the first pitch, and he hit that one twice. He hit it first, it went off the ground, and came back up and hit him on the backswing. Foul ball.
Very interesting. I'm just glad it didn't kick and hit anyone. Glad it went straight back.
Keating gets the sign from his catcher, Masonette, and the deal. Called strike, got the wave lettering.
That's a pitcher's pitch.
This umpire's been calling it up in the zone all afternoon, calling a little bit higher on that wave text on the Darien jersey. Foul back from Brophy, but the knees has been very much balls from this home plate umpire.
Brophy is coming out aggressive. He's getting that start at third base today, and he's soaking up this whole day. He's swinging.
0-2, Keating looking to set down Brophy. Ball in the dirt. One, two, the count. Keating comes set and fires. Brophy, line drive, half of a swing over to the second baseman, Bellotti. Connor Bellotti over to first, and Carter makes the squeeze for the second out. Two gone, Jack Nee stepping up. Talk about his path so far in this game. The sac bunt in the second, reached on the error by the third baseman in the fourth inning. So 0 for 1 in the contest. Now stepping in for his second at-bat. Keating making quick work. First pitch from him. Fly ball from Jack Nee. Right fielder coming over. And Karstalus makes the catch for the third out. The 1-2-3 inning from Chris Keating. And after 6, it's Darien 2, Ridgefield nothing. Top of the 7th coming up as Darien looks to close out this game and end their 5-game losing streak. You're watching the DAF Media Network. Don't go anywhere. Top of the 7th. Darien 2, Ridgefield nothing. Cormac Bellotti to lead off this 7th inning.
Smosky's still out there looking to get the, I guess it'd be safe situation.
Ball just low. I don't think it would technically be a safe situation because he's going more than 3 innings on it. Came in the 5th inning to help out Owen Tyler.
Yeah, if he was just entered into a game, then he'd be the safe situation.
It would be Merritt Hull warms up in the Darien bullpen. It's strike 2 against Bellotti. Hull has been the closer for Darien this year, 2 saves to his name.
Yeah, there's been a few tough appearances, however, so Samosky might be going batter by batter, might give him a little leeway. We'll see what happens.
1-1 deal. Curveball in the dirt.
But he looks to be pitching well so far, so let's see how it goes.
2-1. Smosky works, gets set at the belts, and from the stretch. Ground ball, Yusko. Tracks it down over to first. Alini has it for the first out. A great play by Zach Yusko showing off the leather. And there's 1 away in this 7th.
Good play there, getting the ball on the opposite side there in the hole. Coming and making a strong throw across, just gets him by half a step.
This now brings up Adam Rosenfields. the third baseman batting in the 8th spot. At least for Darien, it's the 7, 8, and 9 hitters for the Tigers, the bottom of the Ridgefield order. Rosenfield 0 for 1 in the contest. A line out back in the 2nd. Walked in the 4th or 5th and was caught trying to advance home. Cold strike. What a pitch by Smosky. No balls. 2 strikes. Sorry to cut you off there. Ball.
You're good. I was going to say, see if he wastes a pitch here. He's up 0-2. Could show him a few pitches just so he's got to be hesitant on it. If you keep throwing those fastballs in there, that's all the batter's going to be looking for. You show him in another one, he's got to think about the changeup, think about the curveball.
Strike 3, looking. Smosky with the delivery. The umpire rings up Rosenfield, and there is 2 gone in the 7th.
That's Smosky with a backwards K right there.
Pinch hitter for this Ridgefield team, number 33, George Henry, the senior, will pinch hit in the place of Mason Smith. Henry 1 for 16 this season, and he will be the batter for the Tigers.
This is big here for the Wave. They want to close it out right here, right at the bottom of the lineup.
Henry, his lone hit coming against the Trumbull Eagles back on April 21st. Called strike.
Yeah, you got Keller waiting over here, top of the lineup over here in the on-deck circle. Big out here. Obviously last out of the game if you get this here, but don't want to allow this guy on base. Roll it over the lineup.
Fouled it back. Darien looking to shut a team out for the first time since April 1st when they shut out the Wilbur Cross Governors. Better yet, the Wave looking to do something that they have not done since 2021, and that is win a game on the DAF Media Network. They have lost their last 6 when we broadcast them.
Well, that's an interesting stat.
No balls, 2 strikes. Ball to the backstop. Nonetheless, though, it will be Henry that looks to break the streak, keep the Tigers in this contest.
I'm Smosky here. I challenge him. I throw my best fastball. See if you can hit it.
Ground ball. Alini to the backhand. The flip to Smosky. Put it in the books. Darien shuts out the Tigers en route to a 2-0 victory. A beautiful game from Darien. And for the first time since April 26th, the Wave pick up a win, end the 5-game losing streak. And they do it in beautiful fashion, shutting out the Ridgefield Tigers.
Well, let's see here. I was going to start with Ridgefield here. You had Keating who came in. He pitched. He was a workhorse for Ridgefield. He gave up some hits, gave up a few runs, but he kept them in the game for the most part. Let up a run there in the 5th, but he threw a lot of strikes in the zone, getting his guys in the dugout, some quick innings there, but he was a workhorse over there for Ridgefield. And on the opposite side there, you had Tyler, then followed by Smosky. Both of them living in the zone. Both of them starting with that first pitch fastball. Getting ahead, getting the first guys out of the inning, leadoff guys out was huge. I believe they only allowed 1 or 2 leadoff guys the whole game, but they were throwing a lot of strikes, which is exactly what Coach Mike Scott likes of his Darien team.
Darien, they got the offense going. In the 1st inning, the Wave started strong. A single from Dylan Alini. He stole 2nd. And then Simeon Dahl, the 4th batter of the game, a line drive for an RBI single. Put the Wave up 1-0. Really got the bats going. And then behind the pitching likes of Owen Tyler, who went 4 innings, gave up 6 hits, no runs, 3 walks, 1 strikeout. He's your winning pitcher in this contest. They kept the Tigers off the board, but then the more magnificent performance, Will Smosky coming out of the pen. 3 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 strikeout, and he sat down the last 7 Tigers that he faced en route to a 3-out. I don't know if you call it a save or a hold, whatever you call it, but Will Smosky, a great outing. And what did you see well from this Darien team?
Well, they were getting out there. They're being aggressive, a little bit hitting. Their defense was very good, however. That is the one thing which really helped them in this game. They caught a few liners, made a good catch in the outfield, did Sibilio out in center field. But they played a little better defensively. You had Ridgefield, who had those 2 errors up on the board, one little costly one by their center fielder, but that's a little bit of the difference. They're both equal in the hit column there, but one thing which really did help was Smosky came in and closed the gate, only allowed that 1 hit, which was big because Tyler was getting hit around a little bit, but they did not scratch across any runs. So that was the difference maker here, was the defense.
And as for Ridgefield, a team that saw opportunities all throughout the game, 1 hit in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th. again, they saw the opportunities. The 4th inning, they had runners on, but then the 4-6-3 double play shut the Tigers down, and the Tigers lose this game, falling to 9-8 on the season. Chris Keating, the losing pitcher, 6 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, and 3 strikeouts. Not a bad outing for Chris Keating, but again, the offense fails to produce for Chris Keating.
They failed to produce, and the Darien pitchers, Tyler and Simoski, both got those out pitches when they needed them. They had that 1st and 2nd, no outs. You get a little fly ball there, then you get that double play there. It was big. They threw the outs when they need to. Pitching's not all about strikes. You got to throw those outs, and they got those quality outs when you needed them off of weak contact, which there, and what I said, the defense comes into play, and which helped the Wave prevail in this win here.
A great day for Darien, nonetheless. They moved to 8-9 on the season, 4-8 in conference play. This starts the comeback in FCIAC conference play, Tim. They're chasing the Norwalk Bears right now, who hold the 8th and final FCIAC playoff spot, 6-5 in conference play. So they were 3 out with 4 to play. They get a big win today, but how does this shift the momentum for the Darien Blue Wave?
Well, it's a big win. You got your second to last home game. You got a few more games coming up. You got a game tomorrow, and it's going to start a little bit of momentum. It ends the losing streak there, and now with that 8th win, you do qualify for the state tournament there. So that is a bit of something to pay attention to. So that's a little pat on the back there, but just glad to get a win at home in one of their final home games there. Good for the seniors, good for the whole team. But hopefully we'll switch the morale around a little bit, see if they can go on a little bit of the streak to possibly qualify for FCIAC.
Talk about how big this win is for Darien. 8th win, state playoff spot 1. They snap a 5-game losing streak. They win their first game on the DAF Media Network since 2021. That was Senior Day 2021. They've lost their last 6 on the DAF Media Network, but they finally get it done. They take down this Ridgefield team en route to a 2-0 victory, and that is where we stand. Again, your final numbers, Darien, your victors, 2 runs off 7 hits, no errors. They left 5 runners aboard. As for the Ridgefield Tigers, they lose this game, dropping a 9-8 on the season, 7-5 in conference play, no runs off 7 hits, 1 error. They left 6 guys on base. The winning pitcher, Owen Tyler, the losing pitcher, Chris Keating. That's going to do it for our entire DAF Media production crew. Neve Sagel, Tyler Simon, Connor Fagan, our advisor Damian Andrew, Tim Bellingham joined alongside me. Saying so long from the DHS Varsity Baseball Field, I've been Braden Shank, and this has been a production of the DAF Media Network. We'll see you next time on the DAF Media Network.